take a step by step through.
After you get through the agenda, or do you want me to go ahead until you elect your chair?
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Okay, we have an agenda, approval of the minutes. Shannon?
I'm going to abstain.
I think they can approve them by 4.
Well, you
'cause
can
I'm here.
approve, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just inform, because you weren't
Second.
actually.
oh, okay, I read them.
Second, yeah.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Election of chairman,
I nominate Shannon.
I'll second that.
Is this just, may I ask, is this just for tonight?
Oh,
Because,
it doesn't
once a
meet
year.
very often,
oh, so I didn't know if, it's just because I replaced Bob.
All in
so-
favor?
Okay, aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, Madam Chairman, you just take over now.
We will need to nominate a vice chairman.
I'll nominate our distinguished financial management chair.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign? Okay. And report of the committee chairman.
What's your report?
I have no report. And,
Is there something in there for?
huh? Did you?
I thought you were going to report of the county mayor.
No, it was report of the committee chairman, and I don't have one. I was not prepared for this.
Pages 3 through 9 is just the resolution and the statutes that guide what this particular committee is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's under your report, but
Okay, all right. Do we need to discuss?
not
Do you have
really.
anything to add,
No,
Mr. Waller?
not at
Okay.
this time.
All right. And report of the county mayor?
No report, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. And report of the finance director?
Item A is the audit results for the fiscal year 2023. It starts about halfway back with the page that says, unfortunately, we didn't number the agenda, page 253. We've invited a guest speaker, Jeff Bailey, here to discuss any of the audit findings if you've got questions. And he's also here possibly to discuss item C, because there was some discussion in budget about implementation of the 2012 Act and those point of view. Page 254 is the first one, and it's to do with emergency medical services, and it's to do with a software internal control. My understanding, this particular software is no longer used for the coming year.
Okay.
And they didn't really go into a lot of details because of the concerns, but since the package is actually gone, I think it's fine if they were just sharing passwords. They should not have been, but that was the gist of the finding.
Oh, okay.
I'll be happy to elaborate on more information.
I'll be happy to let you. I read a little bit about it a couple weeks ago, and then I've read a lot of other things since.
Yeah, it's just a receiving program that was developed by a previous employee, and it only had one access point. So there's only one password. And of course, internal controls, that's not a very good idea. So we scrapped that software and worked with David's office, implementing a software program through Munis.
Mm-hmm.
So they do all the receiving through Munis, so that solved that problem.
Okay.
Little miscellaneous receiving, and they'll have their own logins and policies and procedures.
So every employee has an individual
okay, I
login
see
for
now.
receiving.
So if somebody puts an entry in,
That way we can tie it to that person.
We reconcile them, and we actually have all the reporting, so a lot better than the old program, and everybody's got their own.
They were sharing a,
One account, apparently nobody was aware of until audit discovered.
It was a very simplistic in-house developed program, so.
with the Post-it note with the password inside the drawer under the yellow steno pad.
And it was slotted to be
Okay.
replaced, that hastened its replacement, so we prioritized it on
Okay,
the list of things to do.
all right.
Item 2, I can't really speak a lot, it's to do with the schools, and Dr. Langford was invited, but he's, I guess, declined to come, or didn't plan to come.
Is there anything that we can do even, no, I don't think so.
Pay users, not a lot. Item 3 is the circuit court clerk. It appears that they just didn't collateralize over the FDIC coverage as required by statutes. By
Okay.
her response, it appears it's been corrected unless I'm mistaken.
I know we will follow up on all of these in our 24 audit. And I'm not sure, the clerk's response says they've taken corrective action, but we always follow up to make sure.
What corrective actions would,
Well, there's
resolve this?
the FDIC covers up to $250,000 for a bank account. So if the bank that they're using is a member of the state collateral pool, then they're automatically covered for any amount by the pool. This bank was not a member of the state collateral pool, so the bank has to pledge some of their assets to another bank account, to an outside bank account, to protect the deposits of the circuit clerk. So they basically would have to just set aside more money in an independent bank to cover the clerk's balance if the bank were to fail. So if they have taken corrective action, they've either got the bank to pledge more collateral, or the bank could have joined the collateral pool, or they could have moved their money into a bank that's a member of the collateral pool. That would have been the three ways to correct it, to correct the situation.
Was what happened avoidable?
Well, it could have been, yes. It's, what usually happens in a situation like this is the bank tells the clerk, we'll take care of it, but then as the balances rise, the bank doesn't move money out to cover it, and so when we come in after the fact, they can't move it after the fact. So if they were under collateralized, then that's what results in this finding. Now, thankfully, the bank didn't fail. Nobody lost any money. But if it had have, they could have lost up to $785,000 if that bank had failed. That's not real common, but it does happen.
And this is kind of an out there question, but what could have been done to avoid such a thing?
Well, the clerk could have monitored their bank balances against the collateral that the bank had pledged and notified the bank, we need you to pledge more collateral against our account, our balance. You know, maybe they got a large case in court, you know, $500,000. All of a sudden their bank balance that they may have to hold for a while, so their bank balance went up. And so that would have been the way to avoid it, was just to monitor it, and if they knew a big case was coming through or their balance was going up, to communicate that to the bank, ask them to pledge more collateral. Before the bank collateral pool came into existence several years ago, everybody dealt with this, you know, on a regular basis. Now, if they bank with a collateral pool bank, then they don't have to worry about their balances. The pool covers, if somebody were to fail, the pool covers that failure similar to an insurance policy.
I'm currently taking my CCFO classes,
Mm-hmm.
and we just covered the collateral pool banking.
Okay.
Is that not, I'm not sure, I think I remember they were telling us that's what your office recommends.
Well,
from
we
now on.
recommend it because that way you don't
Right.
have to sit and monitor it, and you
Mhm.
don't get caught with a finding like this
Right.
if you're in a collateral pool
Mhm.
bank. And we're not trying to tell people who they can or who they cannot bank with, but one requires more monitoring.
Than the
The
other.
other one doesn't require any
Yeah.
monitoring. So, are you enjoying that CCFO class?
Just riveting.
The next item's on page 262, and it's not an actual finding, it's a best practices recommendation. And generally, when you follow best practices, you have the least amount of issues and cost, and I think that's probably the reason the comptroller's office recommends best practices.
Mhm.
And I think following that shortly is a discussion, it's a excerpt from the 2012 Financial Management Act, and it was a discussion in budget, and I think the recommendation was to refer it over to the audit committee to kind of get the comptroller's take on the implementation of the 2012 Act. There was quite a discussion of whether what's considered, I guess the word, adequate work towards the goal of implementation, and I think that was the discussion. And when I talked to Mr. Bailey, and I don't want to speak for him, I think their consensus was as long as we're doing any action at all, we're moving forward, because the act's not really clear. And he may want to speak to it in a little more
Well,
detail.
honestly, that would be my conclusion. The private act was amended to say that the county shall work towards the goal of implementation. However, delays in implementation in no way violate this act if full implementation is not reached in a timely manner. So, obviously the acts were approved in 2012, and there was originally about a 4-year implementation period. At that point, we took a finding that Sumner County had not fully implemented the Financial Management Modernization Act in 2016, 17, and 18. And then the private act was amended in 19 to essentially get rid of this finding, I think. So that's kind of where it is.
Jeff, can the Financial Management Committee of the county set a date certain that these things will be accomplished by action of
Honestly, not being an attorney, I'm not sure is my best answer. I'm not sure if you can set something that in stone or not. Now, it had a finite date back when it originated, and this changed it. This private act changed all of that. So I don't know that the Financial Management Committee, a resolution from the Financial Management Committee would override this private act. But again, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to try to give a legal opinion on that.
I'm just concerned because having been here 31 years, I've seen bad, good, and everything, and in between, and I'm supportive of financial management system because I think it does provide some review of things that maybe would not get covered otherwise, and set some standards. But it appears to me like that with what we have there, that you could go backwards as well as forward. I mean, what would prevent a department from going back and doing something in opposition to what they've done previously? That was a standard.
I'm not really sure, because working towards the goal of implementation is very broad language. It's just very open to interpretation.
So, just as one commissioner here, it sounds to me as if a reasonable solution to this would be to change the wording.
That would be an option that you have available, yes. And I think that would be more of a concrete move.
Mhm.
I do, but that, of course, is the commission's, ability to sponsor another amendment or not. The comptroller's office has recommended centralized accounting. I think the entire time I've worked here, it'll soon be 34 years with the comptroller's office, so, and I've seen a lot of different things happen through that over the years, but our office supports it. We feel like it is a best practice, but I think, every county has to determine for themselves whether it's something they want, something.
Well, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut after I say this, but I've used the term to so many people that it is a strange situation with county government, because it's almost like trying to drive a car without a steering wheel. And because you have so many things that are not able to be controlled, constitutional offices and so forth, without without a strong financial management. And then people look to county commissioners to be the guardians of the money that we collect to spend for the county, and yet we don't really seem to have good control of things. No, I know, I'm just philosophizing here, and that doesn't, nothing you can comment on. But
That's the end of my report, Mrs. Chairman.
Right. We'll need any questions? Comments? We'll need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Since I always leave that off.
appreciate you all coming.